Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am the owner of Global Soul Solutions. I am an intuitive, and I'm here with a very dear friend of mine, Karen, who back in March of 2012, we were introduced to each other in a very interesting way. I'm going to start off with my story first. Basically, my gifts I have had throughout many years and have evolved to different stages. And my experience with Karen came on a moving on to a next level and a next stage of my gifts, my intuitive gifts. The way the story goes basically is I had a vision one night, and in my vision I had awakened to looking at my body and seeing my body swollen and blown up. I had a rash from down my face and my arms and my legs, and during this experience I couldn't understand how and why I was seeing myself in this way. Unbeknownst to me, did I know that it was going to lead me the next day to this tremendously wonderful woman who I met during this experience. Also, I want to add that prior to us meeting, I was trying to get an appointment. I also do interior design, that's part of one of my other companies, and trying to get an appointment with Karen to do business with her in her cabinet company. So I called and I called and I called and was unable to get an appointment because, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that Karen was not well. So after about 3 weeks and a lot of attempts, I finally was able to come in and meet with her, and it changed the course of things for both of us, actually, in a really cool way. So I'm gonna give it over to Karen and let Karen explain her experience from when I walked through the door in her shop, and yeah. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Karen Mangino. I own Karen's Kitchens and Baths. This is my business. I met Michelle last year on March 2012, like she said. I have been sick for a little over a month, and she had been trying to set up a meeting with me, and my secretary was told not to tell anybody that I was really ill, because at that point we didn't know what was wrong with me, other than I was going back and forth in doctors and they were just giving me medication and nobody could figure out what was wrong. After around 3 weeks of going in and out of the emergency room, I was finally admitted because my body had blown out of proportions. I had gained on a period of 2 days. I had put on like a little bit over 50 pounds.
It was 50 pounds?
Yeah, it was over 50 pounds.
Wow.
And I literally looked like a monster. I have pictures to prove it. When I started my sickness, I was 135 pounds. By the end of my sickness, I was almost close to 190 pounds.
Wow.
When I was admitted, I was told that was it. They didn't know what was wrong with me, but that my kidneys had stopped working completely, and consequently I had to call my emergency contact. They didn't know if I was going to make it through the night. It was like a movie. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And anyway, long story short, I had a wonderful doctor that was able to help me. I recuperated completely. I had developed sores on my entire body. I couldn't walk on my own. My sister had to assist me. It was just devastating. once I got out of the hospital and I got better, and after canceling a few appointments with her, when Michelle came over to the showroom, and I'll never forget, because what she said was like, what she just described was just one of the most amazing experiences that I ever had in my life. After sitting down for a few minutes talking of business stuff, I said to her, I need to apologize for having to cancel all these appointments, and I explained to her that I had been in the hospital and that I had been really ill, and she just looked at me and she said, stopped. And she told me about her vision. She didn't know what was wrong with me. I had never said to her, to you,
Yeah.
I never said I had kidney failure. I didn't say anything.
We never met.
Never,
We never spoke.
never
in our
talked
lives.
in our lives. And she says to me, do you mind if I share something with you? And I said, of course, go for it. And she told me about her vision, and everything that you described in that vision was exactly what I was going through. I had gone through just recently. And it was just amazing that she could describe what I had while I was in the hospital.
The doctors at that
The
point
doctors
still didn't know what was
at that
wrong.
point didn't know what was wrong. And until today, they could never figure out what happened, why my kidneys stopped functioning. But just to know, Michelle, I started to cry, and she said to me, through those wonderful eyes, that I told her that there's very few people in this world that I trust, and I could see right through her eyes, and I never lie. Anybody that knows me knows that I tell things the way they are. If you don't like it, well, tough. I knew that I could trust her. And you told me I was going to be okay. You told me everything was going to go away. I was told I was going to be on this medication. They were giving me, I can't even remember what was I taking at the time. This outrageous amount of steroids to get my kidneys to fully function. And I was told I was going to be on it for so long, and she told me that she saw me better, or something to that.
Yes.
It's been a while.
That you'd be healed
Yeah.
completely, and that everything would.
And that everything was going to be okay, and everybody else, the doctors were telling me not. And Michelle told me
You're gonna
yes.
Make me cry again.
She told me yes. And I saw my kids' lives. I have never believed anyone the way I believed her. It was just an amazing, if you can tell that somebody can just grab your heart and touch it. She took my heart at that moment. You did. You did. And I trusted her. And I believe in what she said. And she proceeded to explain to me that I needed to want to get better, and it had a lot to do with my attitude and eating healthy and all of these other things. And you were right.
Do you? You were also at that time questioning your spirituality. Yes.
Yes. I was confused. I was very confused. What was scaring me was not knowing why all this happened to me. And I consider myself a really good person. Like everybody else, I make mistakes, but I didn't know why God was doing this to me. I couldn't understand it. I have 2 beautiful children that I need to take care of. And God, I didn't want it to go. I didn't want it to. And I guess I'm still
I guess I'll never know what happened, other than a lot of people did a lot of prayer for me, and I think that's what got me through, and that's what healed me. Because on the contrary, the doctors had believed that I was going to need to go through radiation or chemotherapy or whatever it is. Everything was gone.
And what, didn't you even say the cancer or the kidney association?
They
did what?
they submitted my case to the American Kidney Association, that there's proof of it. Because I was too young to go into complete kidney failure, and they couldn't understand why. And I
And
had
they
to
still-
sign release papers, and
And
I,
they still never
no.
came to a conclusion
Never.
as to how you became
they
healed?
never came to a conclusion what happened, other than my case is 1 in a million.
I
And
remember you saying that.
yeah,
That they
and-
had no idea what was wrong with you.
yeah, and that was it.
Now, from that point, we only spoke a little bit,
A little bit, yeah.
right? I called, popped my head in to see
Yeah.
what, and then there was a real span of time that we didn't speak. And as I'm sitting in my living room one day, I just, as what I call my God voice, told me to call. And that I had to call you at that moment, at that time. And do you want to explain what was going on at that time?
It was a terrible year for me last year.